You're watching Honoring the Armor podcast, hosted by Coach Nikki M.
Honoring the Armor, friends and family, we are back with a new series. We are here today with one of my most special guests. I will introduce her in a moment. But we are starting a new series, y'all, to talk about the armor that the oldest sibling wears. Now, you may or may not know that I am not the oldest sibling. I'm the youngest of three. So this is a new conversation for me in terms of I'm here to listen and learn because I love perspective sharing. And you all know how much I love to understand people, especially people who are close to me that I care about. And at the same time, this is a space where I don't have experience because, again, I am the youngest of three. So let's give a very warm welcome to my cousin, Tiffany, who is the oldest sibling and who has come here to talk with us and share that journey about that armor. So thanks for coming, Tiff.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
So I know that you have seen many episodes of our podcast, maybe all of them even. So first of all, let me thank you for your constant support and encouragement. And I also want to ask you, when I said that this is going to be my next series, and it's something that I'm hoping that people teach me about, right? Mm-hmm. And just help me to understand more because, I don't have that experience. Mm-hmm. What did you think when I was like, Tiff, come on and sit down and let's talk about this?
Initially I thought, okay, I got this one because I understand this one totally. I think if you're not an older sibling, in at least 75% of the cases, you will not understand what it's like to be the oldest sibling in most families. You do have some older siblings who just are not your typical oldest siblings. Like they are just clueless and checked out. Mm-hmm. But you have, to me, majority oldest siblings that I know, they are like spot on what traditionally, has been the role of the oldest sibling to look out for everybody else. I knew I was going to hit this microphone. To look out for everybody. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's cultural, if it's just something that's just innate in you from the moment your parent brings that infant home. If you just know it is going to be my job to look out for this little person.
So break that down for me. I want to get a little bit more granular about that. Mm-hmm. When you think of, because y'all know I like to think of things as puzzles, right? And so if you just could build like the psyche and the puzzle pieces of an older sibling, because you said typical older siblings, right? Mm-hmm. So what are those labels and those pieces of that puzzle? What does that person look like?
I believe, and this is just my experience, I can't speak for everybody. Mm-hmm. And this is what I have seen in my family, and as well as my my parents, my aunts and uncles, my grandparents. If you were the oldest sibling, mm-hmm. you were responsible for your younger siblings. And it meant that you sacrificed and you went above and beyond, and they were your responsibility. If your parents were working, you were the one, who would be responsible for cooking dinner, cleaning, making sure everybody got to bed, make sure everybody's homework was done. You did things that the typical adult in the household would do. So mm-hmm. you were responsible for everybody. And somehow that responsibility doesn't end when everybody is grown and on their own. It just is an innate responsibility that carries on even after everybody is out and on their own. Like I have a great aunt, she passed away. She was married with her own children. Mm-hmm. Her brother's daughter had passed away with 5 children. Mm. She took on those 5 children, even though her husband did not want her to take on those 5 children, but she felt the responsibility that she needed to help. Why do you even feel that? It's just in you that you feel you need to do this. She ended up helping raise those 5 children and ended up being like a great grandmother mm-hmm. to us mm-hmm. because one of those children was my grandmother. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, when you say it's just in you, again, y'all, I'm learning. So we're just having conversation. I'm not telling Tiff anything because I'm trying to learn. But you said it's just in you, but you also said you took on responsibilities that typically the adult in the household would do. So that leads me to question, is it just in you, or were you given too much adult responsibility when you should not have, and that too much adult responsibility included children?
I think that's part of it. I absolutely would agree. But I also think that it is sometimes cultural, and it just passes down from generation to generation. Would most say yes, that steals a child's innocence and it allows them to become an adult before they are ready? Yes, I think most people would agree that does happen. But are we doing something that needs to be done? Yes.
Tell me more about it being cultural. Tell me what you mean by that.
I think in most cultures, parents have to work. I don't think it has anything to do with color, race, anything. We live in a society where if your parents don't have enough money, parents have to work. Parents have to work different shifts. Every parent isn't fortunate enough to work while their children are at school. Some parents have to work evening shifts. Some parents have to work night shift. So that leaves times where children are unattended. So, you know, if you're the oldest sibling, you may be the one who has the key. Remember, we were the latchkey generation. So you went to school, and maybe your brother or sister had the key on their neck, on the string.
I was going to say, because I didn't
you
get
didn't
key
get
for
the key.
a long...
You didn't have the key.
I was outside, y'all.
We had the key. You were outside.
I was outside.
And trust me, she was outside because I knew she was outside.
I was outside
okay?
waiting.
You were outside waiting, but we had the keys, okay? And if you had the key, that was the responsibility that you had to get home, open the door, let everybody in. That was responsibility. Even just that, having the key. The responsibility that went along with having the key. God forbid you lose that key.
You might as well move out as a
Baby,
kid.
get lost if you lose that key.
You might as well just move out.
Right. So, it's just a lot. It's a lot.
And I don't disagree with you when you say that it's not innately based in race. However, it does, I think for me, scream out at a specific socioeconomic status.
Absolutely. You heard I said it's monetary. It has a lot to do with if your family didn't have a lot of money, so to speak, and I don't think that has anything to do with color. You know, poverty crosses every culture. Every culture. I have friends of all races and culture. If we could sit down and have conversations about what we did not have as children, we all meet, and that's how we all bond, and that's how we all become friends, because our stories match up. It doesn't matter if my heritage is not the same as yours.
Sure.
Our stories are the same, so therefore we bond over the same stories, traumas, you name it. We all, you know, bond over those things, and in my opinion, and I'm somebody like you, or somebody who have, we have friends over a multitude of cultures. My family has always said, okay, who's she bringing over now? Like, what? Because we were the first level of students who got bused to far west side. So we have friends, and we still have those same friends that we could see today and catch up and still be in the same place and still have love for them, and they still have love for us and their parents and our families. And these people, these are people that we genuinely had connections with, and it didn't matter, but we all bonded over just genuine friendships, genuine care and concern for each other, but we all had similar stories.
If you can think back, and you may not be able to, but if you can, what would you say is your earliest memory of, I got to make sure they're okay. I got to do this for them. I got to do that for, like, what is your earliest memory of, I'm responsible for my siblings? I
was 6 years old. I was at home. I had chicken pox.
Oh God.
So at this age, when you had chicken pox, everybody got put in a certain area of the house because everybody was quarantined. So I have aunts and uncles that are like my same age or a year or two older than me. Well, I brought chicken pox home to everybody. So we're all quarantined in the house together. But I get out of quarantine first. It's like a 14-day quarantine. My mom has my baby sister. I have to come out of quarantine to go home to help take care of the baby.
At 6. What did you know? I feel like this is like that scene from Gone with the Wind when she's like, I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. What the heck did you know at 6 about a baby? I didn't know anything at 6. I don't know. I hope I know my alphabets and stuff like that, but.
Nothing.
6 years old. And so there's tissue behind you. As you grow up, this is hard, y'all.
It's hard.
It's even the youngest of 3. I don't know. I never say I know something that I don't know because I think knowing comes from experience. But I feel it and I can imagine it because I'm surrounded by people who are the oldest, who live with the weight of this.
And you've watched it and you've witnessed it and you don't understand it and you've said, I don't get it.
I don't. And
right.
I think maybe it's a birth order thing. Now, don't give me hateful comments like, she's so selfish. Why she don't know what this is like? Because I'm the youngest of 3. And I fancy myself, and you of all people can tell me whether or not this is true about me, but I fancy myself super independent. And I feel like I grew up and I went about my way and I wasn't a burden to y'all and I'm out my business. And so coming to the understanding, and I think the really like empathetic understanding that while I was doing that, and that was my experience of my life, my sister, who's 4 years older, spent her entire life thinking she had to make sure I was okay. But my experience of my life was I was already making sure I was okay.
Right. Because that's your narrative. It's not hers. The narrative that's typically told to the oldest child is you have to make sure they're okay. But it's never the conversation that's ever told to you. My brother has never been told to make sure that myself or my sister are okay. But we have been told to make sure that he's okay. Trust me, your brother has been told to make sure you were okay. You've never been told to make sure that they were okay.
No.
Never.
You know.
Right.
Who raised me.
Absolutely.
And you know what I was told was, you better go out there and figure it out.
That part.
Okay, that's what she told me.
That part.
Is, I don't know what, you better figure it out.
That part.
And no, I was never told to make sure that the siblings who were 2 and 4 years older than me were okay. I was told, you better, that's your little red wagon, you can push it or pull it. Remember she used to say that?
That's right. And let me just say, I've been looking for a red wagon to give her mother for years for Christmas because I want to give her a red wagon so she can have her little red wagon that she's been giving us.
I was told, you better figure it out. And so my experience and my narrative, you're right, is that I was out there making sure that I figured it out for me,
for you,
by me. Don't burden and ask you all to help me figure anything out. And still, even now, my sister, and we just had this conversation like 2 weeks ago, in my like college years and all that, she was worried if I was okay. But in my experience, I was okay because I was making sure I was okay. And it never occurred to me that she has spent the last, I don't know, 30, 35 years wondering if I was okay.
What do you mean 35? Come on now.
What? Oh, you mean my whole life?
Your whole life.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just
saying.
Years.
Okay, that's right.
And you maybe she was since I was born. That's what you're saying. Since I was born, she was like, I got to make sure she's okay. And yes,
absolutely.
In my
in your mind
that went away. Like once my sister moved out,
it does not go away.
I was in my mind like, oh, it's on me. It's on me to make sure that my stuff is together.
And it is. But
that's not what's going on inside of you all.
What I'm telling you is it doesn't shut off automatically. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you want to shut it off, but there are things that come over you sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like it's like a little faint whisper that's like, I wonder if so-and-so okay. I wonder, like you just feel something. Like I'll tell you a couple months ago, I just recently felt like I need to check on so-and-so just to make sure they're okay. Because I think maybe something's going on, whatever. Sure enough, bam. I'm like, where does this stuff come from? Like, I'm supposed to be living my best life right now.
Yes.
I'm like, what is this? But no, it happened. And I mean, and my siblings are 6 and 8 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. So I went a long time without siblings.
You really, yeah.
Like I was an only child for a minute. Mm-hmm. And then this happens. I'm like, what? Go in the kitchen and get this bottle and do what? So, of course, that was like traumatizing. You're already dealing with 2 weeks of chicken pox. You're scratching everywhere, places you didn't even know were supposed to itch. And then you go home and you're helping. And there are pictures of me holding the baby and all this stuff. And, you know, it is what it is. And then 2 years after that, my brother comes. I can do it without anybody telling me what to do. And I can... You know, and people
I got
this. I know what to do with this baby. Just go ahead, give me the stuff. Let me just, you know. And by then, my mom's working evenings, and so I can just come home from school and just help take care of this baby. I know what to do. When she went to labor with him, I was in the kitchen scrambling her some eggs, and her water broke. I knew what to do. Like at 8 years old, I knew what to do. So I jokingly tell people, "Yeah, I got 2 kids already. I don't need to have kids. I got 2 kids." You know, and it's a joke, but is it?
Not really.
Is it?
Is it? You know? As you're growing up, because again, it's all about narrative and experience and perspective. Mm-hmm. And my narrative is that you have always been very loving and lighthearted. Mm-hmm. But is that just what I saw, right? And so as you're growing up and you have this weight, this armor of, I got to be, I got to do, I got to make sure that my 2 kids, who are my siblings, are okay. What is the story that you have about yourself? Like on the inside, what is the belief that you hold?
I think we are just more so. It's funny, I was having that conversation with my sister this morning. So I don't know if you're familiar with what they call the kids that are growing up now. Mm-hmm. They're called the alpha generation, like meaning they're in charge of everything and they're going to run everything. And they do. I don't know where this came from because they're not going to run me. But like they want their parents' locations on their cell phones and everything. I'm thinking, why do you need your parents' location?
Well, I feel like that's just safety.
No, your parents need your location. You don't need your parents' location.
Can we have both?
No, we don't need that.
I call my mother and I'd be like, where
you
at?
Call
what you
her,
doing?
But you don't need it in your cell phone, and you don't need to know where they're at all times.
She's getting older, y'all. Watch, I'm going to start getting it.
That's not appropriate.
I'm going to start getting it.
That's different. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about you at your current age with a teenage child now.
I wish. No, that's not.
That's all I'm saying, people, okay?
That's not going to happen.
No. Okay, so these kids don't have the set of survival skills that we had at our age. So I don't know if what I had was a set of survival skills or if what I had was a set of I'm just going to push through or I'm going to people please and I'm going to get through and I have to be positive and upbeat so that everybody else can be positive and upbeat. I don't know what it was.
You hit on something that I wanted to explore, and that's that people pleasing, because I wonder if there's an element of I was given too much adult responsibility at a young age, and therefore these are the things that are inside of me. And is there a portion of that that is like almost performative? If I please people and I take care of people, then I feel good and I feel valued. And so therefore, I'm like on this hamster wheel and I continue this cycle.
Or do I please them and they feel good and they value me? Because that's two different ways to look at it.
It is, but I think what still is at the core is I need to perform in order either to feel valued or be valued. There's still like something performative there.
There's something in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. Where's your value?
Mm-hmm.
Where's your self-worth? What is your self-esteem? What is it?
And what I think really hope and pray and want for everybody is like I'm enough just because. I don't have to be anything for you, do anything for you. Like I am enough. Whatever I bring to the table, positivity, guidance, genuine care and concern, I don't know, respect, whatever.
Laughter,
laughter.
Love,
like
light.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I don't need to perform. I don't need to caretake. I don't need to please. Like I'm enough.
Absolutely.
And so I wonder if that emotional armor that you still have, like many older siblings have, is that something that you all can ever get to of I'm enough?
You can.
How do you get
there? You sure can. You can get there, people. Trust me. I am there.
All right. How did you get there?
I got there through a lot of prayer, a lot of time, a lot of reading. I did some counseling through my grief of losing the people who made me know that I was enough. My grandparents, who always loved me, as you know, loved everybody else. And, were good people and always made me know that I was enough and never made me, feel that I had to be an adult before they let me be a child. And I had all my, good loving times. And, I had so much fun and got to be a kid and just, got to be a kid for a long time. Like, even when you 25 plus, that's my magic age, 25.
I'm 25 again, like that.
Right. My friend's like, you lying? Do you know how old you are? But, my grandfather passed away when I was like 31 going on 32. And I went through the worst grief ever. And so I decided, like, I need to go to grief counseling because this is like, it's going to take me out. And even my husband at the time was like, you not yourself. Like, if you don't go get some help, you are not you. And I was like, you're right. I'm not. Like, I'm at the grocery store. Like, if somebody say something to me, they going to get it. Like,
you just waiting.
I was waiting.
Just waiting.
And that is not me.
Just unleash this on society.
Just somebody. If somebody said something wrong to me, like, they going to get it, And so I chose to go to counseling. And it was just wonderful just to kind of release some things, like, to realize that even if a certain period of your life was not the greatest, guess what? It's over. Let it go.
Right.
And so that was a nice release. It's nice to know that you don't have to carry this weight. You are enough. You can choose to set boundaries. You can choose to say no. And that be a complete sentence.
I feel like I'm the boundary queen.
This one over here done had boundaries since she came out.
Yeah,
so
I popped out the
she
womb,
came out
like,
the womb
these are my
saying
boundaries.
no. Right. This one has always got plenty of rest, ate right, took care of herself. This one over here, if you want to learn something, call her. She's going to get you all the way together.
Me.
Yes, over here. Yes. Okay. She's going to ask you a series of questions and then she's going to get you together.
Yes.
This has always been her. But you learn, like I always say, pray first, get some help, set your boundaries. No is a complete sentence. And you have to know that you are enough. So I felt like once my grandfather passed and I got through that grief and I made amends with that and I started learning and just making changes with my life. And, I vowed that I was going to just be a better person with everybody, not just certain people who felt you needed to be there for. I was going to, it's a lot of, in our culture, they always say, give people their flowers while they're alive. I was going to give everybody their flowers while they were alive, meaning I'm going to love you while you're here. So if anything happens, I'm not going to feel any guilt. And I will hope that you're going to know that I loved you while you were here. And then therefore, I'm not going to feel any guilt. I'm not going to grieve so hard. And if I ever tell you no, you're going to know. I know this person genuinely cares about me. So if she says, no, I'm not coming over here right now, her no is enough. She doesn't have to give me a dissertation on why she's saying no. Whereas prior to that, I would feel I needed to give you maybe a dissertation, or people would ask you, like, I don't have to explain to you why.
I think prior to that, you were hardly ever saying no to people.
I did not. Now I say no in a minute. No, no, no. My other cousin's like, dang, do you ever say no?
Do you ever say no?
No. Let me get it out. Oh, you about to say something? No, that's not going to work for me. I can't help. Why perpetuate let me think about it when I know my answer is going to be no? If I'm not available, I'm not available. I am not overbooking myself. I used to do those things where I would say yes to 3 events in one day, and I can't even enjoy myself at the first event because I got to go to 2 other events. So now first invite is the invite, and after that, nothing else is getting done. I'm going to fully enjoy myself, immersed in my event, and then I'm done. That's it. I can't do anything else.
Is there a way, as you were taking the steps on that, I'm just going to call it a healing journey, really a transformation. Is there a way that your siblings helped you at all?
No, because they didn't like it.
Oh, okay, girl. Okay.
But they got used to it.
Okay.
And I think they learned to appreciate it. And now they want the boundaries too. Learn how to set the boundaries.
Yes.
And now they know what it means. I need, you've been telling me for years I need to say, set those boundaries, honey. You got it. Go ahead.
So even though they didn't help you, how can I, right, as somebody who I think not only has really clear boundaries, but absolutely respects other people's boundaries, how could I help my eldest sibling who absolutely has that weight of that armor, that cycle of I'm responsible? How could I help?
Prayer. You could share articles and literature. I think you're helping us all with doing what you're doing here. I think, you are independent, so you are helping her. You're not, requiring or asking her for any assistance in any way. You're not, putting things on her. You're not saying, oh, I need you to come over here and do this. You're not doing any of those things. You're not guilt tripping her about, oh, I need you to do this. I need you to be at my house. You don't do any of those things. So I think by doing what you are doing, you are helping her. But I think, if you see a good article about things, you could share that with her. Self-care articles. I share self-care. Like, this is Self-Care September to me. I'm reminding everybody, take care of yourself. And I try every Saturday to send out a self-care message. Do something for yourself. Do something. I mean, just even if it's 10 minutes, 30 minutes, I share with, people I work with, some friends, people I know who are struggling. I'm sharing with the students at work.
Yes.
This is Self-Care September. Do something, take care of yourself. I have a whole calendar at work on the board. Even if you don't do it every day, even if you get 4 out of 30 days, you've done something for yourself. And I was going to say, and I did
that series in June about self-care on the inside, because there's such a misnomer about self-care, y'all, that it's about getting a facial or getting a massage or getting a pedicure or going to brunch. And for some people it could be. And it is not, I think, isolated to that, right? And I specifically focus on self-care on the inside, because there's too many ways to care for yourself for free, that I think people ignore and really need to really open their eyes about,
Right.
because those ways to nurture yourself are really closely linked to your emotional health, your mental health. And I think it's important for all of us to know and share with other people.
Absolutely. Like on the calendar I put up for the students, it has things on there like call a friend, clean up your social media, drink 70 ounces of water today, go for a walk. Just simple things that are free. They don't cost a thing. All of that was free. And even one of the secretaries, she said, I'm going to clean up these photos in my phone because that's another day. We all probably have way too many unnecessary photos in our phone that we could delete. Somebody showed me the other day how to clean out duplicates in your phone. Duplicate photos. I was like, you can do that? What? I didn't know. So I learned something new the other day. Who knew? I'm not super techie, but I learned something new. So.
What have you done, right? So I know that you did the work to really transform yourself. What have you done and what have you shared with other people in your life who also have that armor and that weight of being the oldest and feeling responsible for everybody? Because for some people, unfortunately, like, they are not able to let go of that and have the transformation. And so they're 70 and still out here like, I need to help my 65-year-old, What is it that you've done, if anything, to maybe help other people?
Well, like I suggested, share books. I've shared articles, share locations you can go to have some peace and serenity for yourself. Different at-home treatments you can do for yourself, movies and documentaries you can watch for yourself. If you want to go to counseling, some groups you can go to, some support groups, even free things at the library, just free events. Even if you enjoy music, a free concert you can go to just to kind of just check out for a minute. Or some people like, movie, art, different things, anything you can do kind of get some self-care time for yourself, some mindfulness time for yourself. There's all types of gratitude journals on Amazon, some mindfulness cards, things that will give you a daily reminder, like be mindful, like to stay present for the day. I think I have a set of those. So sometimes I take pictures and share those with people. You let people vent, without interjecting, because sometimes they just really want somebody to vent to. You try to assist as best as you can, help people. I find that some people don't want the help. Sometimes they just want to talk about it. So you just let them talk and you say, okay. Because, what am I going to say? Like, some people either want the help or they don't want the help. I don't know what else to say. If you want the help, I can tell you how. I can point you in the right direction. I can lead you to a therapist who can get you together.
Right.
It may not be me. I'm not in that realm, but I can lead you to who can help you. But if you don't want the help and you just want to vent, tell me what you want. You want me to just listen? I can just listen. I'm at that point. You want a book? You want to journal it out? You want to cry? You want to scream? You want to go hiking? You want to go to the axe place and throw some axes? I don't know what you want to do.
A rage room. No,
You
I'm
want
just kidding.
that place. You might want to go there. I'll go with. I may not rage with you, but I'm gonna go out here and watch.
Now, what if
I'm
they
there.
say, I've done all that, I'm beyond all that. I am at the point where I want to change my behavior. I want to transform, and I don't want to be responsible for my siblings anymore. Because you know what happens for a lot of people when they start to stand firm in their boundaries and they start to turn their constant bobbleheading of yes into no and no thank you, they get told, oh, you acting brand new. Oh, you acting weird. Oh, you being weird. Oh, you being mean, because people have never heard them say no.
You're gonna need a provider for that.
Okay.
I can tell you my version of it, but then you're gonna tell your family that Tiffany told me that don't put me in it. go get a doctor.
Like, don't put me.
I don't mind, but I still want you to go and see a professional. Even in a few sessions, it can help. I'm not saying you need to go get a therapist. You need to be on medication, things like that. I'm not going to say all of that. But you need to go get a professional to help you with that so you can learn the technical terms for what you're trying to do and know that why you're trying to do this. And maybe you can help your family along the journey as well, because they need to understand boundary setting as well.
Right.
They're going to need it too at some point in their life, whether it's going to be with their spouse, with their children, with their coworkers, with their somebody. Everybody needs to know boundary setting. It is valuable in life. It's okay to say no. It is okay to say no. We don't have to take on every task that comes along your path. Everybody is not your task.
Everybody's not your assignment. Is that what they said? That's right. I got about 3 assignments, y'all. That's it. About 3.
And sometimes you may have 10 assignments. You still need to know how to balance everything. It is what it is. But you need a professional sometimes. Because we all going to have moments where we struggle. You know, sometimes you may have to work a full-time job and take care of your family and take care of an ill spouse. And those are things you're going to have to do. You may have to do it. You know, you may be on a board. You may be, you know, those are things you're going to have to do. You committed to all of those things. You're going to have to do it. There's no way around those things. But also, while you're doing all that, you don't have to go to girls' night. You say no.
Right.
You know, I'm sorry. And if your girls don't understand, I'm sorry. Whatever. Maybe those aren't your girls. I don't know what to tell you, but
I think some of y'all, Tiffany, about to not call no more. I don't know. It's just like, maybe those aren't your girls. I think some of y'all off the birthday card list. So before, just so y'all know. So before we wrap up, you know, I like to do a little rapid reflection, because I think for me, and I hope for so many of you out there, this has been like just such a blessing and like eye-opening for me. And I love learning about things that I feel like I'm on the periphery of it, but I don't have the experience and I don't know what that's like.
it's okay.
Because I'd be like, I'm over here, okay, y'all okay, good, everybody's okay. We all right. We not. She said we not. So I just could not thank you enough for coming to have this conversation. And I'm just thinking about people already who are going to be so blessed by having someone who is in a very, very similar situation, because I feel like no two situations are the same, but very, very similar, and having that psyche that comes with, you know, being the eldest sibling who's responsible for everybody. There are so many people, I think, who are this is going to resonate with them, and they're going to really just feel so blessed by your story. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me. I hope I help somebody. If I can help at least one person, then I know this was worth it. So
that's all right. So before I let you go, I'm going to give you a sentence, and you're going to finish it for me. Okay. And whatever comes to your mind and heart.
Okay.
So that's all right. The eldest sibling that I used to be once believed
that I needed to always be there to help everybody.
And the eldest sibling that I am now knows
that it is not my job to be there to help everybody, and everybody will be okay and they will figure it out.
I used to think that the word no was
harsh.
I now understand that the word no is
a complete sentence.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Friends and family, this has been another wonderful episode of Honoring the Armor. I'm so excited to be on this journey and bring you our new series of the armor that the eldest sibling wears. Please do not forget to share, like, subscribe. We're really interested in your thoughts and your comments. And please, please, please talk to somebody that this may help. And I hope that it helped you.
Thank you for watching Honoring the Armor podcast. We're releasing new episodes every other week. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Like and subscribe so you don't miss out.